I just feel like all of our training videos need a little more music to them, just to brighten up everyone's day. Okay, let me show you how to add a new course. So just log on to Moodle. And I'm just going to assume that you've already created all your content. Maybe you've written a document and you've recorded a video or something to that effect. Maybe you have some quiz questions. Let's just go ahead and just show how you would set up the course in the first place and then start adding content to it. And maybe I'll do this in several videos so that you can get all the different aspects, because every course is just going to be a little bit different, so you'll probably want to customize this whole process. So I'm just going to start straight from scratch and log out. Okay, logging in with my, there we go, with my credentials. And it opens up on my home page. Again, it can always open up on your dashboard if that's what your user preferences are, but mine are that I want it to open up on the home page. So then from the home page, you can look at all the courses that are assigned to you, and then all the courses that we have, that Sessions and his team set up. So there may not be any content, like if you go into that one, right here. Oh, there is a... Okay, forget that. That was a bad example. But you might go into one and there might not be any content inside of it. Or you might go into one and there might be tons of content in it. And then you're just editing. Okay, so first thing that you'd want to do if you're setting up your own course is to look through this list and just see if maybe we have one that's already set up. Or at least that one that was planned. For instance, I'm working on the BlueStakes one. There we go. And it's obvious that we have planned to do this. So I'm just going to start editing this one. Now, for instance, what if I didn't find it? How would I go about that? Let me go and just quickly show you that. What I would do is I would go to Site Administration. And I would go to Courses, add a new course. And you're going to put a full name for the course. I would say Blue Stakes. And I like using ampersands in titles. That just means less reading for everyone. Excavations. There we go. And then we would just say maybe just Blue Stakes on the short name. There's just sometimes when you want to just display a short name, and it's actually a required piece of information for Moodle. They always ask for that. And then you choose which category this falls under. I would think that this probably goes into work zone safety. And then you definitely want to show. I don't do anything with the course dates, because if you were to start and stop a course, it will operate more like a school course where you have a beginning of a semester and an end of a semester, and we really don't want to have to deal with that kind of restriction. So I really don't touch those. You can, actually, I like to add a picture, and you can just go and load something into the Google Drive and log in and look for it. But you also have some other options if you don't have time to do that. You can just search Wikipedia for a picture. If I just want to say excavation, it will pull up a bunch of pictures that are in the public domain that I can use. So, that's excavations over in Greece. Maybe I don't want to put excavation. Maybe I'll just say gas line. Gas line marker. See, there you go. Yep, that's perfect. And that's our picture for this course at the moment. I'll go back and change it. And then what I do, I'm gonna open up another tab so I can show you. Okay, we'll get rid of the music. That's okay. Let's go and open up my home page in another tab. So I right click, click on new tab. And you'll notice that I'm displaying information about all the courses here. That's just makes it easier so you can do it quick. If it's something that's under construction, I always put that in orange and say how much under construction. You know, this one we have some reporting resources available, and then I always, if we've ever done a group training on it, I try to put when our last group training is and update it every time we do a group training, and that makes it really easy to look at. But all that is just me inputting stuff to this description box. So let me just copy this. We're going to say it's under construction and that some training resources are available. I'll show you how I make it orange. You don't have to make it orange. I've done that in the past just to make it easier. I'm going into the HTML editor, and so now we're looking at straight HTML code. And inside this, you could do it inside this P here or inside the B, either one of those two tags. Right after the B or the P, you're going to write style equals quotation mark color colon orange. And you have just written a line of computer code right there. And I'm going to copy and paste that whole phrase. Oh, nope. I'm going to copy and paste that whole little computer code phrase into this B tag down here as well, and that will highlight status. There we go. And there you go. That is how I get the orange on there. You don't have to do that. If that's something that's just a little too much, don't worry about it. That's just a nice thing I've been doing. And then one of the things you're going to want to look into, because we've had some trouble with this in some of the courses that Sessions and his group set up. Some of them have completion tracking set up and some of them don't. You just want to put that as a yes. And that allows us to actually track who has taken the course and who hasn't taken the course and who's completed stuff. If that's not selected, you won't be able to sign off on anything. And there we go. Okay, now it's going to take us from that point and want to enroll users. So let's go into enroll users. And instead of clicking on enroll users, go ahead and click this little gear thing up here and click enrollment methods. Now we're doing this is important for us to sync who we want to take the course and who we don't. So when you add users, you've added them to a cohort, which is basically like a work group. It's, it's a crew. They could be a full-time guy or they could be a temporary guy. We'll show you in just a second. But if you don't set this up right here, what happens is when you add a new user, they won't. The new user won't actually have any classes assigned to them unless you set up this. We're going to set up what's called a cohort sync. And that just makes it checks every time you add a new user and you add them to a cohort, it checks and says, oh, are there any classes that this cohort has to take? And that's what we're saying here. So we're saying the cohort has to take this. I do not worry about any of that. I just go down here and select the cohort. And you can just do the drop-down menu and you can see all the cohorts we have. Let's see. We definitely want our full-time road guys. There we go. Full-time road guys. I don't think it would be a bad idea for the weed department temps and... Oh, I'm sorry. We got to do this one at a time. So first the road department, and then we're going to click Add Method. And now you can see, in fact, now you can see there's 17 users that just assigned, and it will assign any other further users that we add. Now I'm going to add another cohort sync by using that drop-down menu. And let's add a full-time weed guy in there as well. I've got a document that tells me who's supposed to be assigned to all these different classes, and one day I'll go through and I'll assign them. And then we're also allowing This one says that students can add themselves. So if somebody who's maybe like a road temporary employee who's not necessarily assigned to this course but wants to take it, he can go through and he can sign himself up for that. Or he or she. But so far, it's just going to sync our full-time road and our full-time weed guys. Now we can go back to the course, and we do that by clicking on this little cap up here that says Blue Stakes. And this is what's inside of our course. And this would be the same. So if you, let me just go back out. So we've added this as a new course, but just say that you actually found this course as an empty skeleton on the home page. Because we did have one of those, and we've now made 2 of them, and that's going to be confusing. So we have this one we just started setting up, and this one that doesn't have anybody assigned to it. Let's say if you were starting from here, you could do all that same thing with the cohort sync and the tracking completion and everything. Just go into this edit settings menu, and that will bring us to the page. You can see that the full name is already spelled out and the short name is already spelled out. This is all the same page. You can add the picture the same. This is all the same page we were just on. You can add the little HTML if you want, and I am going to get rid of that because that's gonna be messy. The completion tracking, it's all here, even if this was already set up. However, you will need to go to the Participants tab, and that will get you to that participant setup that we were talking about, where you have to go into the enroll methods and then add your cohort sync. And so that's how you would do it if you had found a page already set up. Let's go back and go to the one that we initially set up. In fact, you can see, because I've assigned myself to all of the cohorts, I can see that it's already signed me up right there. Of course, there's nothing inside this. So let's go ahead and do a little editing. In fact, I'm going to make this another video, so stay tuned. We'll make editing a course once you've set it up a separate video to come very soon.